Hey guys, welcome to this video. And in this video, as promised, I will be writing the MergeSort algorithm in Pascal. So I decided to switch it up and go to VS Code because I think that'll just be a little bit more easy on the eyes for you guys watching. And I like Visual Studio Code, so I will be using that. Got my folder set up, has nothing in it. And let's go ahead and begin creating our MergeSort algorithm. So I'm going to create the file. It's going to be called MergeSort.pas because that's the file extension. All right, let's open up the file and let's begin. So same as before, we have to write the name of our program. We're going to call it MergeSort. Under here, I'm going to establish some variables for our program. Variables. So we're going to create variables. We need 3 variables for our MergeSort program, at least for this outer part. We need an unsorted array. To declare an array in Pascal, we need to type in the name of the variable, which we're going to call unsorted, ARR. And then we need to pass in the type, which is going to be array. And then inside of these square brackets, we need to pass in the size of the array. So we're going to start off at 0, and we're going to go to 7, which means that we have a size of 8 for this array. And then once we do that, we need to establish what we want inside of the array. So I already have that copied, and these are just 8 random values in unsorted order. So from here, we need to establish a sorted array. So this is going to be what is coming out of our MergeSort. So in order to do this, we're just going to create a type, which is going to be called int array. And this type is pretty much just going to be an array of integers. But instead of typing array of integers here, which is basically setting up a dynamic array, we're going to create a pretty much like a variable to store that type in, which is going to be this int array. So we're going to go up above here. We're going to type in type, and then we're going to say int array, and then this is going to be an array of integer. So now we have this set up. So instead of typing array of integer everywhere, we're just going to be typing in this int array to kind of shorten it up for us. All right, and then also we'll need another variable just for basically it's just for looping. So when we need to loop through our arrays, we'll just use this I. All right, from here we can go ahead and create our program. So basically this is going to be the main thread of the program, or whatever you want to call it. So here we're just going to print out the unsorted array first, then we're going to call our MergeSort algorithm, and then we're going to print out the sorted array. So in order to do this, we need to loop through our array and then print out each element. So the way we're going to do this in Pascal is by using a for loop, and their for loop basically it takes in where you want to start and where you want to end, and then you use the do keyword to before you actually implement the inside of the for loop. So let me show you how that looks. We type in for, and then we're going to use our I. This is why we established that earlier. So we're going to take I, we're going to set it equal to 0, and then we're going to go to the length of our unsorted array. So, and then the do keyword. Okay, so from here, let me just explain what happened. So we start off at 0. So we set I equal to 0. Then we're going to the length of the unsorted array, and they have this function here. It's like I guess it's like a built-in function that you use to get the length of arrays. So we pass in our array, and then we use the do command. The do keyword, and then inside of here we just do what we want to do. Really, we're just going to be writing our unsorted arrays elements one by one. So we do unsorted array and then pass in I because we're looping through. So that should print out our unsorted array. And then I'm going to go up here and I'm just going to write a line so that we can space out our outputs so they won't be like right under each other. I want to give them a little room. All right, so now we need to set our sorted array equal to MergeSort and then the unsorted array. So we haven't created this MergeSort function yet, of course, but that is what we will be calling. And then we can I'm just really gonna, because this is gonna be pretty much exactly the same except for we're printing out our sorted array this time. This is giving me a hard time. Okay, there we go. It's like it didn't want me to copy it. All right, and then instead of unsorted, we're going to be doing the sorted array. All right, so from here, all we're doing is printing out the, here we're printing out the unsorted array. We're calling the MergeSort algorithm, and then we're printing out the sorted array afterward. So basically, that's all we're doing in this main program. Now we need to go ahead and create our functions. So above our begin here, we're going to create the MergeSort function. So the way you do this is you type function, and then we're going to type in MergeSort, and then we pass in our parameter, which is going to be our unsorted array. So we're going to just call it ARR, and then the type is going to be int array. So as you can see, we can use this int array here instead of typing array of integer as we did up here. And then so once we have that declaration done, we need to put our return type on the right side of this colon. So we type colon and then whatever our return type is, which is also going to be int array, and then semicolon. So from here, we can go ahead and write our function. So we need to establish our variables for this function. So it's pretty much the same as how we did our program in as far as how we're going to write it. We're going to have function name and then the variables and then the actual begin and end for the actual function. So for the variables that we need, we're going to need a left, a right, and both of these are going to be int arrays. Then we're going to need an well, let me name it something else. All right, so we'll just name it J. And this is going to be an integer. And I believe that's all we need, but might have to come back up here later if I run into any roadblocks. All right, so for the MergeSort, let's go ahead and type our begin and end. And then it's end. And the difference between this begin and end down here and this begin and end down here, up here, is that this begin and end is for the function and this begin and end is for the program. So this end at the bottom of the program needs a period, not a semicolon. I don't know. I think auto did that, but there's supposed to be a period here at the end of the program. But at the end of the function, we put semicolon, at least from what I know. All right, so now we just implement the MergeSort function. So MergeSort, let me think. MergeSort, we need to split the array into left and right, and then we merge them. So we're doing the splitting here, and then the merge is a different function that we're going to call. So let's go ahead and do the splitting. So for splitting, we need to, I don't even know if Pascal has a way to basically just like in JavaScript, you can splice an array and then just grab a certain number of elements. I don't know if that's the case in Pascal, and I'm not about to find out. I'm just going to implement this in the simplest way possible for me to understand. And the way I'm going to do that is just by copying everything by using a for loop. Since I already know the syntax for a for loop, we're going to do that. So we're going to say, well, first things first, we have to initialize these arrays. So we have a left and a right, which are arrays, and we need to initialize those arrays. So the way we'll do this is by using a function called set length. So we're going to call set length. Then you pass in the array that you want to set the length for, and then you pass in the amount of basically the size of it. So I already realized that I am missing our middle. So I'm going to declare that as a variable. So we're going to go up here. We're going to set our middle. So middle is basically just the middle of the array that was passed in up here. So the middle of ARR. So middle is going to be set equal to, I think they have a function called floor, and then length of the array divided by 2. All right, so we're going to get the floor of that, and that should give us our middle. And now we're going to say middle. So we set the length for left and right to middle. So that should be the, set the size of it. All right. And, I forgot there's a couple things I forgot. All right. So I'm just going to start off with this floor. So floor is coming from, it's a built-in function out of the math library. So we need to import that. And the way we import libraries, or whatever you want to call them, in Pascal is by using uses. So we're going to say uses math. So now this program has access to the floor function. All right, and since we are doing MergeSort in a recursive manner, then we need to have our base case, which I completely forgot to add before I started writing that. Getting ahead of myself. So the base case is if the array, well, the length of the array, if the length of the array is less than or equal to 1, then we want to return the array. So the way we do returns in Pascal is you don't type return and then array. You would just set the name of the function equal to whatever you want to return. So we're going to say MergeSort and then pass in the array. And then from here, if this is not true, then we want to do all of this other good stuff. So I'm going to do a begin and end here. So these begin and ends in here are for this if statement. So if, then we say begin and end, and then we do the same thing here. Begin and end. And then let's go ahead, push this over and add our semicolon before we forget. Okay, so now we have this if statement. This is basically checking if the length of the array is less than 1 or is equal to 1. Then we're just going to return the array. Otherwise, we're going to go down here and we're going to run through the actual logic. So we're going to set the length of our left and right arrays. Basically, that's just initializing them. And now Pascal knows how many available slots there are for these arrays. And then from here, we need to go ahead and do our fors to actually populate the left and right with the array that the main array that was passed in up here. So let's go ahead and do this. So for our left side, we need to go from, we're using J here. So J equals 0. So we start off at 0, and then we're going to middle. All right. And then from here, we're going to set left J equal to the array J, semicolon. Don't forget your semicolons. All right. And that pretty much sets the left array up. Now we need to get the right side, which is going to be for J equals middle. And then we're going to go to length of the array. Then do. And then from here, we need to set right equal to J minus middle, because we need to get that offset out of there, so we can get the right 0, because we need to set because right is a completely different array that starts at 0, so we need to offset that with the middle. So we take the J minus middle, and then we're setting that equal to the array J. All right, so now this should set the left and the right. Once we get that, we need to call MergeSort on the left and the right, and then we need to merge the left and the right. So let's go ahead and set left equal to MergeSort left, and then we need right to be equal to MergeSort right, and then we need to return. So we remember when we return Pascal, we set the name of the function equal to whatever we want to return. So we go MergeSort equal to merge, and then we're going to pass in left and right. All right, so this should handle our MergeSort function. Now we need to implement this merge function. So let's go up above our MergeSort function and create a new function, and we're going to call this merge, and it's going to take in a left and a right, and they are both going to be int arrays, and it's going to return an int array. So one cool thing to note is that when you're establishing your parameters, if they are the same type, you can just add a comma and then add your colon and then your type. So they know that left and right are both int arrays. So once we get that done, we go in here, we once again set up our variables. Inside of here, we're going to need, what do we need? We need our sorted array, but I'm not going to call it sorted array because we already have that. So I'm just going to call this one sorted, and it's also going to be an int array. And then we need 3 more. So we're going to need integers. We're going to need our left pointer, our right pointer, and our sorted pointer. And all these are integers. All right, so what our left pointer is going to point to where we are in our left array. The right pointer is going to point to where we are in our right array. And this sorted pointer is going to point where we are in this sorted array. So as we're going through and checking to see which one's less or more, then we need to increment these pointers to the correct places. So let's go ahead, and I think that's all we need. So let's go ahead and do our begin and end. And from here, we need to initialize our sorted array. So let's go, it's going to be set length sorted. And then we're going to need to pass in a size. We're going to pass in length left. So we need the length left plus the length of the right. So this is going to get us our array, our sorted array. All right, so that's initialized, and now we need to run our logic basically. So we need to check to see which one is lower. Is the left index lower or the right index lower? So let's go ahead and go while L pointer is less than linked left -1, and then R pointer is less than, I keep forgetting to do length first, length right. Then we go do, and then in here, I think I want to, we're just going to do the if. I don't know if I need a beginning and end for this while. I'm going to try it without and see if it compiles. But if it doesn't, then we will definitely figure it out. But let's go ahead and go. Matter of fact, let me just do a check really fast. Pascal while loop. So while do loop. Here we go. Tutorials point. So while do, yeah, so they have a beginning and end. So I'm going to put a beginning and end just to be sure. Okay. So do, and then we'll say begin. And so now we have that. Once we get in here, we're going to need to say if the left with the left pointer is less than right with the right pointer, then we want to set our, I think we can do another begin here and then end, but we want to set our sorted to whichever one's lower. So if the left is lower, then we're going to set our sorted with the sorted pointer. Set that equal to left L pointer. And I just realized I have some syntactical issues here. Obviously, these are supposed to be square brackets. All right, so now we have our square brackets and our sorted is being set. Now, once we set this, we need to increment our left pointer and our sorted pointer, but I will be doing the sorted pointer at the bottom of the while loop because that will always be incremented regardless. So here I'm only going to be incrementing our left pointer. So we're going to say L pointer equals L pointer +1. The only reason I'm doing this is because I don't know if the plus works here, and I know that this should work. I mean, I don't understand why it wouldn't, but I'm not sure if the plus works, so I'm not going to use plus here. All right, so once we do this, we're going to say else, because if the left side is not greater than the right side, then that means the right side is greater than the left side. So we're going to go here, we're going to say begin and then end with our semicolon. And then we're going to say sorted pointer is going to be equal to our right R pointer. All right. And then we need to increment our R pointer. So that's going to be equal to R pointer +1. So now we incremented that. So once we get here, we need to go ahead and increment our sorted pointer. So sorted pointer +1. All right, so now we've incremented our sorted pointer, and then once once this statement up here resolves to false, then one of our sides are done pretty much. So either the left is done or the right is done. We don't know which one. So what we're going to do is we're going to do another while loop to get the rest of the array put into the sorted array. So the way we'll do this is the same thing, while, and then we're going to check L pointer is less than, or while L pointer is less than the length of left. Oops. Then we're going to do our loop. So when we loop through here, we're going to set, it's pretty much this logic. Yeah, so this thing is giving me a really hard time today with my copying and pasting. All right, so we get here, we take the sorted pointer, we do that, and then here we're going to actually have to push up our sorted pointer right here as we do it. So all right, so now this is pushing whatever's left on the left side onto the sorted pointer, and then we got to do the same thing. I'm actually gonna copy and paste this if it will let me today. Okay, there we go. All right, boom. All right, so now we have our R pointer. To change this to right, sorted pointer, this is going to be right, and this pointer is an R pointer. Then we need to push up the R pointer, and sorted pointer, sorted pointer. There we go. And then once we get done with all three of these while loops, we are finished. So we can say merge equals sorted, and that will return this sorted array. So now we should be good to go. I'm going to try to compile this. Hopefully this compiles. I probably should have compiled incrementally just to make sure. So to compile, we do fpc, and then we do MergeSort.pas. Oh man, we got a problem on line 6. Oh, I think maybe this is supposed to be an equal. Let me see. Okay, now we have a syntax error at 9. I don't know what I'm doing. What does it say? Of expected. Oh, I think I'm supposed to say of integer here. So let's try that again. All right, bunch of stuff. Okay, let's initialize these pointers. So L pointer 0, R pointer 0, sorted pointer 0. All right, here we go. My end was supposed to have a semicolon here. All right, and I think that should do it again, just so you guys can actually see it this time. All right, so I got that going. Let's go ahead and try to run this. We're going to, as we can see, we have our MergeSort program right here, and that's the one we're going to run. So I'm going to say /MergeSort, and we have a bunch of jumbled up numbers here. So let's go ahead and add some spaces when we're writing these. So we're going to say 5. This colon and number, I believe, is to set how many places. I don't want to say decimal places, but it's like basically how many spaces you want it to occupy. So I'm saying 5 spaces since each number is only 3, at the max 3 digits long. Then we're gonna have 5 digits of space, I guess, if you wanna, whatever you wanna call it. That's probably a horrible explanation, but you'll see what I'm talking about when we run it again. Oh, that didn't even. Oh, I didn't. I have to recompile. All right, recompiled, and let's run it again. There we go. So now we got some space. Okay, so we're not getting the sorted array. I might have a mistake in here somewhere. Let's see. I don't know what's wrong. And why didn't it print on a separate line? Maybe I'm supposed to do -1. Let's try that. All right. All right, cool. So at least we got that. Now let's see what's going on with the MergeSort algorithm, because apparently we're either not getting it back or it's not even throwing an error. So something is definitely up. Maybe this is the problem. I think I'm supposed to have a -1 here too, maybe. Here, let me try a -1 here and a -1 here, see what happens on these for loops. All right, compile. There we go. No, that is not it. These are not sorted. Do another right line down here so we can get that. Well, we got 2 arrays. It looks like it sorted these 2. Let me see. That got over here somehow. 75 got over here. So it kind of looked like it was trying to. Then it looked like it just stopped. Maybe these aren't supposed to be -1. I think these might need to be regular. I think those for loops need to be -1. So let's try this. All right, got that. There we go. And that's it. We got it. Woo. All right. So as you can see, I've never written Pascal before. This is a new language to me. And we've implemented MergeSort in it with a couple of Googles. I did a little bit of research before this video just to get some of the syntax. I didn't want to be Googling syntax every 5 seconds, which is what I did learning this stuff. But just for the video's sakes, I didn't want to have it. This would be a long video of me just reading documentation. So I got the basics. I knew I was going to need some for loops. I knew I was going to need a while loop. So I Googled the syntax for those and a little bit about the structure of the program and how the structure is. I just didn't want to be reading documentation for 45 minutes with you guys sitting here watching me read the documentation. I wanted the video to be a little bit fun and informative. So as you can see, the syntax is definitely different than what we normally would write. You can definitely write MergeSort with it, at least that's what we know. You can pretty much use any language. This is the whole purpose of this series. You can use pretty much any language that you want to program. If I didn't understand the concepts of functions and, loops and conditionals, then this would take forever to write. But the fact that I already know those concepts, all I had to do was just figure out the syntax. Pretty much any problem I had was either syntactical or it was something to do with my math. So it was either math related or syntactical. It wasn't, the knowledge is there. I understood what MergeSort was and how to implement MergeSort. I just didn't understand the syntax, and I had a couple of hiccups with my mathematics. But as you can see, you can do this pretty much in any language. I'll probably make a separate video of me picking the next language and stuff. But thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel and all that jazz. And I will see you guys in the next one.